Today, I'm going to show you how I made cafe curtains and accidentally kickstarted my labor, which resulted in my beautiful baby girl. I purchased the materials a few months ago, and I didn't intend for it to take me this long, but it did. I bought the rod and mounts off of Amazon and the curtain rings from Walmart. They are Better Homes and Gardens, and they match these mounts pretty closely, which is why I purchased them. The material I used, I wanted to recycle from old bedding that I had, and this is actually a flat sheet from Walmart that I purchased many years ago, and our fitted sheet just got worn, thin, and ripped, so now I'm saving this gigantic flat sheet to use for curtains and other projects that I am planning for the future. These recordings are from the end of July, and when I was doing this, I actually was planning on staying on top of making videos for YouTube, and life just unfolded. A baby came a little bit sooner than I had planned, and so now I'm going to be cranking out and editing all the videos that I have been recording since the baby was born. I'm trying to measure here, but I'm also trying to calculate putting in the curtain ring because it is very large. It's meant for a curtain rod that is actually an inch thick, so that's why it looks so huge on that skinny little curtain rod, which I will down the road plan on changing the rings so they look a lot more cohesive on the rods. Since I don't sew that much, I tend to overthink all of my simple sewing projects an exuberant amount. I will overcalculate and overpin to hold things down, and it still comes out semi-okay. I will iron, which is what I'm doing here. I have plenty of material to make mistakes, and I actually cut in the wrong direction the first time around and realized the pinstripes were not going in the direction I wanted them to go, so I had to go back and recut, but that was okay because, like I said before, it is an old flat sheet from my bedding, and mistakes could be made. I went back and filled these holes that I actually did myself from when we first moved in. I had Roman shades in here that were mounted, but as we lived here and learned what it was like having the Roman shades in our kitchen window, they blocked out a lot of light, and as bright as my kitchen is, it just dimmed the kitchen a lot. Here I am overpinning a very small cafe curtain, but like I said, I tend to overthink my sewing projects, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so those two don't really mix that well together. I think it's important to point out a lot of things that we already own can be recycled into something new if we have the patience and time to do it. I understand that's not the case for everybody, but I am trying a lot harder now these days to try to rethink something that I've already owned before making it leave my home and before running out and buying something new. My husband stepped in a lot with this project because it was very hard for me to lean over the sink with a huge pregnant belly. Plus, he likes to hang things. He's better at it than I am. I am definitely the kind of person, while I just stated I'm a perfectionist, when it comes to hanging things, I will just stick a nail in a wall, call it a day, and eyeball it. My husband actually really likes to make sure the math is correct when we hang stuff in our home, and I'm grateful he is that way because there's a lot of things that are squared away that would not be if I were the one hanging things. And with my completed, not straight, slightly off cafe curtains, I am lining them up so I can start adding my rings to them and hang them. I notice in my home I tend to lean towards blue a lot, and I try really hard not to. And it's not because I dislike blue, I just don't want to always be caught in decorating with only blue and a lot of brass. Brass I will never be sorry for, but blue I am trying to add in more variety into my home besides just different shades of blue. But I love it. Every time I look at it, it makes me calm, it makes me happy. So this is the technique I use. Again, like I said, some things I just kind of wing it, and this is where I eyeball. I will fold my curtain in half, put 2 rings on the edge and 1 in the middle, and then eyeball the remaining amount of rings to make it look like there's an even amount of space between each clip. I hope that makes sense. After putting up the rod and installing it, I was very happy to look at the curtain that just kissed the edge of the windowsill and playing with the curtain before installing the next one. And then I accidentally kick-started my water breaking. And this is how I made it happen, right here. This was the move. Let's watch that again. Yep, I felt a weird pop, which is why I'm biting my lip. And let's do it one more time in case you missed it. There it is. And not too long after filming this, my water broke right there in the kitchen where I was standing. So I had to start packing my things and get ready to go. My husband left his job immediately and came home to pick us up while I was packing and trying to semi-put the house back together. My eldest son and 2 of my friends were worried that I wasn't moving fast enough, but it all worked out. I think because I am a 4th-time mom, I was very lenient and very relaxed about getting on the road to the hospital. But on the way there, my husband picked me up a burrito the size of my face, and I am so grateful that he did, because while I was in labor, they really did not give me any food. And I understand why, but I have used midwives for all 3 of my children previously, and I was always allowed to eat in labor. And this time I used an OB, and just, they operate differently, that's all. Here is the finished result, and I was very, very happy with it, and it gave a really nice summer look. It was something that was very pretty to look at right before we had to leave to the hospital. And here I am at the hospital, waiting to meet my little girl. Here she is. Thank you for watching. Until next time.